1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe a little more monitor. It's an honor to be here. Obviously, and thank you all for coming out tonight to celebrate John. I'll tell you the story. True story. 35 years ago, I was making my second album in the record plant in New York City on we started on December 5th, 1980. I was in Studio A with my band, and John and Yoko were in the mix room upstairs. And we were all just thrilled to pieces knowing that John was in the room, in the studio, in the building. And on Sunday night, December 7th, 1980, we got a phone call about midnight. My co-producer knew John, and I was going to meet him on Tuesday, the 9th of December, 1980. So on Sunday night, the 7th, midnight, we were recording. The phone rang, and it was one of John's engineers. And he said, "John's out of guitar strings. Do you have any he could borrow?" John Lennon needs guitar strings, so we were diving in our bags, and I got some strings out, and I was going to put a little note, to John, "I love you, thank you for all the music." And I thought, I'm going to meet him Tuesday night. I'll tell, it's too corny, I'll tell him in person. So we sent strings up about midnight, and the next day we came in about 4:30. I've got a track sheet for the day. We were in at like 4. John was in at 7. He was mixing a song, a Yoko song called "Walking on Thin Ice." Great song, great recording. And his engineers told us that John played from midnight to about 4 or 5 in the morning. The last thing he ever recorded. And so about 10:30 at night, our phone rang in our studio, and I'm playing this Steinway piano that John played many times. It was a record plant. The record plant was a legendary studio, and many people, Springsteen's "Born to Run," Bruce played that, Roy Bittan, David Bowie, Elton John, all these. But the John Lennon played it meant the world to me. I'm a kid who was 8 years old and took piano lessons. So I'm playing the piano, and every time I played it, I was just thinking, John Lennon played this. Anyway, so 10:30 the phone rings, and my co-producer, Tom Panunzio, good buddy, he knew John. They'd worked together many a time, and he had a buddy in New Jersey named Ken who was begging him for an autograph. And he said, "Can you get me a John autograph?" So Tom knew that we did a favor, and he asked a favor in return. And he asked the engineers, "Tell John that the guy who gave you the strings last night would love an autograph. His name is Ken." I changed my name to Ken last week. So 10:30 phone rings, we were recording, and Tom said, "I'll be right back." He goes out, this is December 8th, 1980. He goes out, he meets John by the elevator because they're going home. And give him a hug, and John writes on this piece of paper, "To Ken, thanks for stringing me along. Love, John." Drew a picture of his face, 1980, in a piece, "Forever to Liverpool." And one thing that nobody knows, the record plant hired a security guy to watch John when he was there. His name was Bobby, black guy, about 6'5", 300 pounds. And him and I hit it off. And the next day, anyway, John gave me the autograph, he gave him a hug, and he went home. And 5 minutes later, he was shot. The next day, we came in, and Bobby was heartbroken, and he told me, I don't know where he is, he's probably gone now, but he told me, when they got in the elevator to come down to leave, John was in the greatest mood. Because he said, Bobby told me this, he said, Yoko was finally getting some respect. Double Fantasy was #1 around the world. And John said to him, Bobby, let's go out and have dinner and celebrate. And Bobby said, I'd love to, but I'm sick to my stomach. And John put his arm around him and said, you go home, we'll do it later in the week. So instead of him going to dinner with John and taking him home, he was sick. Anyway, God bless. I'm going to sing a song that I recorded last summer. I went in to make a piano album I've always wanted to do it. And it turned out that 34 years later, this piano, the very same piano, was in the studio and I got to play it. And it gave me chills every time I did. Beautiful piano with a sound of its own, but that John played it. It brought all that back to me. So I'm going to sing a song in honor of John. I'll dedicate it. It's one of my songs. This is called Lost. And it's John influenced, clearly. Anyway, Lost for John. I am lost, like a castaway at sea. I am lost, how the waves roll over me. That's the cost I have to pay without you. Here I am, where lions once roared on the land, in the silence of the Lord. I am lost, washed overboard without you. Lord, my arms grow so weary. Lord, wake up, can't you hear me? Clouds roll in, I can see the boats go by through the din. I can hear the seabirds cry. Don't know why these waves get so high without you. Lord, my arms grow so weary. Lord, can anybody hear me? Night is dark, and I'm moving towards the brink. Memories pull me down deeper into the drink. I'm a soul without any link. I'm a lost soul out here on the brink, out of control and starting to sink without you. Without you. Without you. John Lennon.